Hey, what's up? Cracker here. Welcome to the channel. In this WordPress website builder tutorial, I'm going to show you how to get started with Breakdance website builder. I'm going to cover everything from setting up your WordPress installation to installing Breakdance. We're also going to take a look at the difference between Breakdance Free and Breakdance Pro, and we'll find out if Breakdance is a theme or a plugin, or if you need a theme to work with Breakdance. So let's get started. First of all, to install Breakdance, you need a WordPress installation. So if you have a web server and your host provider has WordPress hosting, that means you most likely have WordPress installed on your server. But for those who do not have, or you do not wish to install WordPress on your server right now, I'm going to show you how to try out Breakdance for a limited period of time on a free server. To do this, we're going to go to InstaWP. I'm going to open this on an incognito tab because I already have my own setup. So I want to show you how to set this up. So you're going to go to instawp.com and then you're going to try it for free. So this allows you to install WordPress. For a registered user, you can only use this for 8 hours, but if you want to extend it to up to 48 hours, then your site will expire after 48 hours. And even if it expires after 48 hours, you will still be able to use the site because it's going to take up to 7 days before it is deleted. Now, the recommended setting is usually enough. So I'm going to just quickly click launch your site instantly. But if you want to give it a name, you can go ahead and give it a name. I'm going to click change here and then I'm going to write Breakdance. Okay, Breakdance trial. I just want to try it out. Okay, then I'm going to click. So it's going to go ahead and install WordPress on this server. And once that is done, you can see that you have 7 hours to try out. But if you create a free account, you could extend this for up to 48 hours. But right now, we just want to click a one-click site login, and it's just going to log in. So we are at the back end of WordPress. So the next thing we want to do is to get Breakdance. If you already have the pro version, you can skip this next step I'm about to show you. But if you want to use the free version, then this step is for you. To get the free version, I want you to click the link in the description. Just take a look at the link in the description and you're going to see get Breakdance free. And once you click that link, it's going to take you right here. Now, your form may not look like this because I have already signed up to get the free version. So you may have the option, a little bit more field to create your accounts with password. And then once you do that, you click free download. And the next page you're going to see will be this page. So this page is going to tell you to lock in the early adopter yearly price. Now, the normal price goes for $349.99 and the discounted price is $149 per year. So if you want to claim these accounts, these pro accounts, you can go ahead and purchase Breakdance for $149 and lock in the price. That means you will always renew at $149 even if the price reverts back to $349.99. But if you don't want to do that, if you want to go ahead and get the free version, you just click no, I'm not interested on saving on pro, and it's going to take you all the way down here where you can view your downloads, and then you could download the latest version. The last one here is the latest version. Of course, if you want to go ahead and buy Breakdance, you could always buy it from here. So you click this, it's going to open a window asking you to save the Breakdance, and you're going to go ahead and save it. Now I'm switching over to my InstaWP dashboard. Now this is what it looks like if you sign up and you are not just, creating a site without creating an account. So if you create an account, this is a free account. This is what you're going to see. You're going to have your site, the dashboard here. So I'm just going to log in to my own WordPress installation. So to answer the question, is Breakdance a plugin or a theme? The answer is Breakdance is a plugin, and you do not need to use a theme with Breakdance. Breakdance is a full site editing website builder, so you do not need a theme for it. So we're going to go to plugins, add new, and then I'm going to upload Breakdance. I'm going to click install. Once that is installed, I'm going to go ahead and activate the plugin. So here we see that you are presented with a Breakdance setup wizard. So you have the option to keep theme if you want to use a theme with Breakdance, but it is highly recommended that you disable theme because you can decide every part of your website with Breakdance, and the disabling theme gives you the best performance and maximum flexibility. So I highly recommend that you use this, and it's also very useful especially if you want the Breakdance style to apply, especially if you're working on a WooCommerce style. Breakdance has awesome WooCommerce styling, so I recommend keeping this. And then if you have purchased Breakdance, this is where you go ahead and put your key. You may notice that even with the free version, if you go to license keys, you're going to see that there is a license key for Breakdance free. So we're just going to take that. That is a free version, so I don't need to hide the key. Okay, So you have the Breakdance homepage, the dashboard within WordPress, and here you have links to different things You could get started with a template. You could see tutorials. You could join the Facebook group. You could subscribe to the Breakdance channel. And here is a video that shows how to build a complete website in 15 minutes. So the next tab here has to do with template. Now this is where all your template can be created. A blog template, you can create different kinds of template. We're going to look into that. Here you can build your website header. Then here you can build your website footer. Here this is where you have the global blocks, where you can store global blocks in Breakdance. Global blocks are useful, especially if you are building a blog page or a WooCommerce page. You want to build customized shop or customized archive pages. This is where you use the global blocks. Here you can create different kinds of pop-ups that you can use on the front end. And Breakdance has an inbuilt form. This is where all the form submission goes to. Breakdance has an excellent design library. This is where you can find all the design library for Breakdance. You could also find it inside the builder. So this is not just the only place. So you have the option of importing that. You see the live preview, for example. If I want to check the live preview of this one, I can just click and check it, and it's going to open, and then I see exactly what this looks like live. These are design libraries that gives you a great starting point to build your website with Breakdance. And then we're going to go to the Breakdance setting, which is very important. Here in the Breakdance settings, you have different options. You have the global styles. This global styles enables you to set a global theme for your website, how you want your whole website to look like, the colors, the typography, the buttons, the forms, everything in one place, even WooCommerce. Now, I don't have WooCommerce installed here. We're not going to be looking at that, but I'm just mentioning that if you have WooCommerce installed, then you're going to have theme styles for WooCommerce where you can style all your WooCommerce component in one place. Here we have user access. Now, user access is very important, especially if you're building a website for different people. Many other people are involved in editing the website. You want to restrict access, so you want to set different access level to different users. Now, to be able to configure the permissions, you need to be on the pro plan, so you can't do that on the free plan. Also have maintenance mode here. Maintenance mode is when you're building your website. You could turn on maintenance mode. You could also set a page that you want to display while the maintenance maintenance mode is on. And authentication status, you could set it here. You can bypass the maintenance mode if you're logged in, or if you are logged in with a specific role. You could also set a URL parameter where you could set a key and a value that allows you to bypass that maintenance mode, especially if you wanted to show that website to someone. If the person goes directly like this, they are going to see the maintenance mode if it is turned on. But if you add a key here and a value, could be anything, it is going to, let's say, I can just write access equals to true. Okay, just like that, and then I can save the changes and I can copy that URL parameter and send to someone, and then that person is going to be able to bypass the maintenance mode. Here we have the options to tweak the website for Breakdance for different performances. You could go through all this and tweak it. Now, I have a video on 20 things you need to know before using Breakdance. I'm going to link it here. Some of these things I have addressed them in depth, so you take a look at that video. And the API key has to do with the different API integration with Breakdance. You have MailChimp, you have reCAPTCHA for the forms, you have so many other integration, your Facebook ID, the Google Maps API key. And then for the post type, this is where you decide what kind of post type Breakdance should edit. By default, none of them is checked, but I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and choose page. So you want Breakdance to be able to edit your pages. For posts, you typically want to use a template for the post. So I'm going to save this, and then under advanced, you have different kinds of options. You want to allow Breakdance to upload SVG. You could enable that if you want to be able to upload SVG with Breakdance, and different kinds of different other options here. You also have a way you can put custom code, the header code and the footer code. If you have a code from a plugin that says you should put it in the footer, or any code that you're supposed to put in the footer, this is where it should go. So what we're going to do now is to create our first page with Breakdance. I'm going to go to pages, and then I'm going to add a new page. I'm going to publish that, and then I'm going to go ahead and edit with Breakdance. So when you open Breakdance the first time, it's going to ask you if you want to start with a template. So right now we don't want to start with a template yet, so you always have that option in the builder. So there's no need to open a design library. Right now, I'm just going to say no thanks. And this is how Breakdance looks like once you open it. Over here, we have the top bar where here you have add. This is where you add an element or a design from the a template from the design library. And this shows the page you are currently editing. And if you click here, there's going to be a drop down of other pages that you have edited with Breakdance. They're going to show up here. And then this is the breakpoint view. This is where you view your website at different breakpoints. So you have all the way from the desktop to the phone portrait. Okay, let's take that back. And over here, you have the structure panel. So if I click here, it's going to show up the structure panel. And then right here where you have this dot, you have access to the global settings, the selectors. The selectors has to do with the classes or different other kinds of selectors. You have your history, your preferences. Now, if we click to go ahead into these preferences, in here you have the UI settings. There are different UI settings here. We're not going to cover this now. You have the ability to add custom fonts to Breakdance. Of course, you can only do that in the Pro version. And then you have the ability to add custom breakpoints in addition to the one you already have. Here you have the global settings. This is where you set up how your website is going to appear. You have the colors, you have the buttons, everything about your website, the typography, forms, the containers, you have the codes where you can add your style sheet and others, transition duration. This is where you set up everything. I have a video that is dedicated to this section. It is called best global settings for Breakdance. I'm going to link it at the top right corner. I recommend you take time to watch that video. So right now we're going to go back to the structure panel. To start designing a page with Breakdance, the first thing you want to add is a section. So if I click on this, I'm going to see a section here, and then I'm going to add a section. Now I want to point that even if you don't add a section and you want to go ahead and add any other thing, so if I click add, even if I want to add a heading, it's going to automatically add a section before adding the heading. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to create a simple hero section. I'm going to base my inspiration from this. So I'm just going to move this to my second screen so I can be looking at it. Now it's not going to be exactly this. I just want to have a title here, some text here, perhaps a button, and then I'm going to have an image right here. So it's not going to be exactly this. So I'm going to move this to this side, and then I'm going to go ahead and edit that. So we need to have two columns here, a picture on this side, the heading, and a follow-up text here and a button. What I'm going to do is I want to use the latest version of Breakdance for this. Right now in the dashboard, when you downloaded Breakdance, what you had was version 1.3.1. Now I'm going to quickly upgrade this to version 1.4 RC, because by the time you watch this video, RC version 1.4 would have been ready, and I don't want this video to be quickly outdated. So I'm going to install it off camera, and then we're going to come back. Okay, so I've gone ahead to update Breakdance to Breakdance 1.4 RC. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a section. So I'm going to add, so we have a section here. So I'm going to open my structure panel. And what I'm going to do is to add the grid element. So I'm going to drop in a grid element. And my grid element, I want it to have 2 items per row. And I'm going to drop in a div, and I'm going to duplicate that div. So I have 2 divs right there. And right here, I'm going to drop in my heading. And that heading is going to be this. I'm just going to copy this and go back there. And just come here and paste it. And I'm going to copy this text also, because I'm going to drop in another text. So I'm going to click here to add, and I'm going to go to text, and I'm going to drop that text there. And I'm going to select that div because I need a space in between them. I'm going to go to layout, and then for gap, I'm just going to put 20 pixels of gap there, or I could just make it 2 rem of gap. And over here, I'm going to add an image, and then I'm going to go ahead and upload an image there. So I have an image there. I'm going to drop it right there. So down here, I'm going to add a button, and that is going to be my button. And I could just write there, learn more. And in Breakdance, the image element has a lot of features. So if I want to add zoom, I could always add zoom to it. But instead of adding the zoom to it like this, I can just come here. You can see a finger here. That means the hover style. So I'm going to click here. And then right now, once that is highlighted, I'm clicking, I'm editing the hover style. So I could just zoom that hover style. You can see that zooms in. I want to zoom in a little bit more like that. Then I can go down here to this effect and add a transition duration. Okay, now it zooms slowly. Now this is just the basics, just to show you, okay, how you can start setting up stuff in Breakdance. So if I come here to this breakpoint, the Breakdance automatically sets the grid items to be 3 at this breakpoint. We want to take it back. We're going to take that out so we can still have a 2 grid. And then over here at this breakpoint, we still have 2. No need to put it there. And then at this breakpoint, we want it to be 1. Automatically, Breakdance set it to 1. So you can see that is fully responsive. Now that is just a demonstration to show how you could just set up a simple hero section. So let's just say we didn't want to have this kind of layout and we wanted to have something different. So I could just go ahead and remove this header and drop it inside the section and take all this back to the section, and then I delete the whole of this. And then I want my section to have everything to be centered. I can come here and I can center everything, and then I can give a gap of, let's say, 40 pixels in between. And I want my section to be dark or have a background. I can come here and choose an image background. I can have a gradient background, I can have a video background, or I can have a slideshow. So I'm going to go ahead and add a slideshow to this. So I'm going to add an item. I have just one picture for now. I'm going to add more pictures. So I've gone ahead to add more pictures. I'm going to drop it there, and that is going to give us a slideshow. So you can see that the background now is a slideshow. So I want to go to slideshow settings, and the transition effects, I want it to fade. But then I don't really like the way a slideshow is showing. So I'm going to go to the overlay settings, and I want the overlay color to be black. And then I'm going to fade it out just a little bit. So we have that overlay, but it is not really showing that much. Then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to the text colors. I'm going to change all my headings to white. And then now notice that I'm doing all this on the section, and then I'm going to choose all my text to white. And we have a very nice section background there. And now if I go to the size, I could decide to change my section size to the viewport size, and then I go back here and align this vertically. See, if I save this and go to the front end, I have a very nice hero section. So this is just a tip of the iceberg on what you can do with Breakdance. As you can see, my slideshow is moving. So let's go back there. Now let's look at the design library. So if you come here to add, you're going to notice that you have elements. And right now we are at on the elements, and there are tons and tons and tons of elements that you have in Breakdance. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to just add another section, and we're going to use that section to explore the elements that we have in Breakdance. And Breakdance has a lot of well-built, highly refined elements. So I'm going to click add. Now we wanted to take a look at the library, but let's just take a look at the element. We have a tooltip element. For example, if you want to add a tooltip to something, let's say I have a button like this and I want it to show what it does. Like here says learn more, but learn more about what? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy this button and I'm going to drop it inside this section. So I have a button in this section. Now what I want to do is to add a tooltip element. So this is my tooltip element. I'm going to move this button right inside that tooltip element. And then when I hover on it, you see it shows tooltip. So right now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to turn on in builder preview. Of course, it was already showing when I hover, but I want to turn it on. I want to go here, to the text. What content, what do you want the tooltip to show? So I'm just going to say learn more about our services, something like that. And then I'm going to close it. I'm going to go to the styling, the tooltip, the placement. I want it to be at the top, or I could set at the different top or right start, something like that. Anywhere you want to place it, you could change the offset, you could change the background color of the tooltip. You could make it white, you could make it black, but we're just gonna I'm just gonna clear this and leave it at the default color. You could change the typography, you could change the paddings, you could change the border radius, like that, you see. But let's leave it. The arrow, you could disable it if you don't want. There's so much settings there, and that's a very powerful element. Now we're going to go back to add, and then you see different kinds of element. Now one thing about Breakdance is that if you're using the free version, you still have the ability to use the pro element. There are builders that don't give you access to the pro element, but Breakdance gives you access to the pro element even when you're using the free version. Like for example, Elementor. If you're using Elementor and you're going to see a section dedicated to pro elements, that means you can't even try it out. But Breakdance allows you to try out these different elements. Okay, so I'm going to just drop in all these pro elements. You have image, accordion, dual header, animated headings, check mark list. So all this, you have business hours, very powerful elements. I'm going to save this, and then we're going to go to the front end and take a look at this element. So we are at the front end. Now, once you add the elements, it's going to tell you that this page uses pro features only, and it's going to tell you to upgrade to the pro version or enter your pro version license key for it to work. So right now you can still see, you can still use it, you can still see it, but only the logged in user will be able to see or will be able to use this feature. Now, if I take this and go to an incognito page where I'm not logged in and see what Breakdance is going to do. It's going to allow you to see it, and then it's going to gradually fade it out, but then you can still see it, but it's faded out. I think this is really nice because it just allows you to test this. So even if you want to test and see how this thing is, you could still test it before you buy it. And if there are interactive elements, you can still interact with it. You know, you can see I can still select this. You know, I can still click this. Okay, so I'm just going to close that, and then I'm going to go back here. So there are over 120 well-refined elements in Breakdance. A lot of them are free, a lot of them are pro. The pro ones are very powerful. So I'm just going to let's remove these, so we have some of the noteworthy elements. The pro accordion, the pro accordion, image accordion. So you have this beautiful image accordion. That is one. Another one is the slider, advanced slider. Very nice. Now advanced slider allows you to add different things inside. Very powerful. You can place whatever you want to place inside it. You're not limited. Even if you want to drop something. In fact, take a look at this. I'm going to move that image slider inside. You see, I've moved that right inside my slider, and it's still working. You can see, oh, let's see if it's going to work on the front end. I'm going to refresh this, and then we have our slider right here. And what do you know? It is still working right inside there. This is very powerful. The tabs, so we have the advanced tabs. Advanced tabs is just like that. You can add anything inside it. Okay, so let's say I want to duplicate this image accordion and I want to move it. I'm going to cut it, Ctrl X, and then I'm coming here to this frequently asked or more information, and then I decide that I'm just going to drop it inside here. You can see I have it right inside my tab. Very powerful. I'm going to save these, and then we're going to go to the front end and let's check it out. Breakdance allows you to be able to do stuff very easily. These are things that if you want to do in other builders, you're going to spend a lot of time trying to do. This is a toggle right inside a tab. Okay, so you have all that. These things work together, and they work together well. So you could take your time and just go through all of this. Even if you're using the free version, you could take a look at all of them. You have back to top, you have scroll progress, you have Instagram posts. If I go ahead and come back here to where I have this, and then I drop my Instagram post there, you're gonna see that it's gonna show up. All right, so yeah, it's already showing up with, you know, with a predefined URL. You could drop in your URL there. If I put in my Facebook post right there, you can see that Facebook shows up. They have powerful, very powerful elements. Now, enough of that. We're not going to waste time on that. This is just to introduce you to what is available here. So the next thing I want to show you is the design library. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything we have on the page. So let's say you're building your website and then you need a starting point. You don't know how to start. Breakdance has a powerful design library. So you go to library, it's going to open the library. So you're seeing a warning here. It says soon the design library will only be available in Breakdance Pro. For now, enjoy your free preview. So that's good. So right here we have sections here that you can add to your page. Now you have a design set here. You have you can see you have this website. Now this website refers to the website you're currently working on. You could take sections from your website and use it in other pages from the design library. Now, but we have UI kits here. Okay, this UI kit, you have portfolio. So if you want to put in portfolio, you can put it from there. You can have, let's see we have hero section. I'm going to just type hero. Let's click here and we have hero and title. So I want to go ahead and build a page with this Simba UI kit. Okay, so these are UI kits. So I have different hero sections. These are different hero sections. I'm gonna just scroll down to the hero section that I like, perhaps something like this, and then I'm just gonna add this to page. You see it's added to the page, and then I want to add another one. So I'm just gonna close this, go back to the library. Still on that, I want to have my services. Okay, so I think I will just call it content. Okay, content sections. After that, I'm just gonna drop in something else there. So let's see, what can we drop? I mean, you could drop anything you want to drop. You know, there's just a lot of things here. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop one of them. I'm just trying to see which one goes well with what I have here. I'm just gonna drop this. So we have this. The next one, I'm just gonna go back there, and I want to have testimonials. After that, so we have different kinds of testimonial. I want to drop in the one that uses this. I'm going to drop that in. So we have a testimonial. We're gonna go back there and we're gonna add call to action. I don't want it to be too long. I just want a short page. Call to action. I love this also. Love this clean looking. So I'm gonna drop this clean looking call to action. Okay, if you want to have something crazier, you could just do something like this. So let's do something like this. So you have that, and then I'm gonna drop in a footer. Of course, the footer, you want to build your footer in your, you know, in your footer template. So but for now, I'm just gonna drop in this footer right there. If we are dropping a footer, we might as well just drop in a header. Okay, let's go here. Now this is not the right way to build a footer and a header. To have a footer, and you need to go to the template or to the header template and build one. So but I'm just going to do it right here. So I'm just going to add this. So I'm going to collapse everything and move my header all the way up here. So you can see I have a header, I have my hero section, and that if I save this, this is just a very quick way of putting up a site. So I'm going to refresh this and everything is there. So I have my header. Of course, no, we don't have menu here. It's just, that is just the one I picked. We have this. So you could go ahead and choose anything you want and then customize it to fit what you want. Of course, these are not showing up properly. So you could just replace this with the colors, you know, from your site. That there's something else I want to show you. You can also import a full website. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all this, and then I'm going to go into the library again. And then here you have these are complete sites. Let's say we want to go to we want to do auto repair or beauty salon, real estate. Let's go to real estate, and we're going to see a full website. It's loaded, and it's telling you that this design relies on global settings. Now remember why our footer icons or our footer links were not showing properly is because those designs rely on global settings that needs to be imported for them to display the way you want. So I'm just going to go ahead and import all this with the global settings, confirm, and then import that global settings. And then I'm going to import the whole of this page right here. So right now the whole of this page is imported here. So you can see right here, everything works perfectly. If I save this and go to the front end, and then I'm going to refresh that. That's so you're going to see that you can actually have a completely built website ready to go. Breakdance has a very powerful menu builder. So if we go to the header, all right, so I'm just going to quickly show you how Breakdance menu builder works. So I'm just going to delete everything here. Right. I'm going to delete everything. And now what I'm going to do is to add a header builder right here. It's going to drop in a header builder. The header builder is a pro element. So I'm just going to drop in the menu builder inside the header builder. As you can see, it comes with already predefined elements, so you could give you a starting point. So you have a custom menu drop down. You could actually drop in, you know, things like here is a custom menu breakdowns. You could drop in anything you want. I could just go ahead and add a basic slider there and just put something there. If I don't want this image, I can take it away. You can see I can remove this. I'm just putting a basic slider in there, right in the header. I mean, I'm not saying that's what you should do, but I'm just saying it is very, very flexible. Very flexible. So you can see that you have all these airplanes. Under airplanes, you have all the things here. So it's highly customizable and it is highly accessible. So we're going to go back to the front end. I'm going to use my keyboard to navigate the stuff. You can see I'm moving through the menus with the keyboard. And then if I click here, you see you can move with the keyboard. If I come there, you can see now. Let's go back here. If I come here and hit escape, it goes back. It is very accessible. This is one of the best menu builder I've seen on any builder. Breakdance menu builder is accessible. It is polished. It is good. It's responsive. Now, if we go responsive, okay, let's go responsive mode. I'm gonna go responsive. You can see that the menu is so refined and smooth. Look at how it behaves in the, you know, in mobile. Everything is smooth. Everything is super smooth. Now, if I go back here, let's say I come here to this drop down now and say, okay, I want to add a custom drop down. So we're already on the menu builder, and then I want to add custom drop down to it, which is just this one. You can see this has a picture in it. Even if I go ahead to put in one of the pictures that we have here, let's just put this. Now, so I have that picture. Now let's see how it looks on mobile. So I'm going to come down all the way here and click here. You can see that custom drop down, how clean and nice it looks even on the smallest screen size. It's very smooth. You can see the preview from even inside the builder, Everything looks great right here. So if I save this, let's refresh the front end and see how it looks. Let's saving. I'm going to refresh here, and then we're going to check this. See that custom drop down? Beautiful. Look at how this is. Look at how this is. You know, this collapses automatically when this one is open. So that's all I wanted to show you on the basics of getting started with Breakdance WordPress website builder. In subsequent videos, we're going to take a look at many other things. We're going to take a look at the headers, how to build a header in Breakdance. I already have some videos in the channel, so I might just link a playlist that you're going to check out. How to build headers, how to build I did a video on how to build a full web page. There you can see how to build a footer. There are other videos on the channel that has to do with global blogs. But in subsequent videos, I'm going to be doing more of that and setting up templates. I'm going to be doing videos on how to set up a blog page. So follow the channel, subscribe, do not miss anything. We're going to look at how to create blogs. We're going to look at how to create WooCommerce website. But for now, I just wanted to introduce to you the basics of Breakdance WordPress website builder. So if you want to get Breakdance free or pro version, I have a link in the description below. Click on that link and download the free version and try today. If you want to purchase Breakdance Pro, use that link to get Breakdance and lock in the price while you still can. If you have any question, please put it in the comment section and I'm going to do my best to attend to them. Until next time, have a great day. Bye.